Hello, hi, welcome, or welcome back to Mia Likes Movies. My name is Mia and I like movies. What do we think? I'm so tired. So I'm sitting on my bed. This is directly inspired by Biz, I think is the channel name. This lipstick is not pulling pink. I tried to do a pink lip. I don't wear pink lipstick, so it's the pinkest lipstick I had. It just looks peach. Because we're talking about trolls, the trollsverse. I love the trolls. This looks messy. Set decor. This is my bed. Welcome. If you've been here for a while, then you know that I am a huge fan of the Trolls films. I actually genuinely think that I mention them in like every other video, and I probably mention them in every single one of my video essays. And like, I don't intend to do that. That just kind of happens organically. They just take up that much space in my rotting brain. So today we are finally going to dive hair first into the Trolls universe, the Trollsverse, if you will. We're going to explore the three main series films only. That means 2016's Trolls, 2020's Trolls World Tour, 2023's Trolls Band Together. I don't acknowledge any other Trolls media, and if you have a problem with that, I don't have anything to say to you because you're another adult who has a worse obsession with Trolls than I do. And that's not my problem, that's yours. Before we get started, remember to like and subscribe. I'm not going to redo that. I feel like it's only right that we start with the background. If you didn't know, the Trolls movies are based on the Good Luck Trolls made by Thomas Dam or Dam. I'm gonna say Dam because I'm from Eastern Pennsylvania, okay? Get used to it. They are known as Trolls dolls or Dam dolls if you're nasty. They debuted in the 1950s and were an official hit in the early 1960s. This popularity would sort of wax and wane throughout the 20th century, and as technology grew and developed, the Good Luck Trolls would follow. There were video games, TV series, etc. If you're a bitchy 90s kid like me, you may remember the iconic 2005 DIC Entertainment one season series Trolls, the Z. These were my brats, and I love the brats, but I was obsessed with the Trolls. It's all on YouTube. You can watch it if you don't know what I'm talking about. I think these were my gay awakening. And also apparently there was like a fraud lawsuit with the series. We're not going to talk about that here because I didn't find a lot of information on it just because I had a lot of other things to do. So in 2013 is when DreamWorks Animation acquired the intellectual property for the Trolls franchise from Dam. Apparently DreamWorks had plans to make a film based on the Trolls toys as early as 2010, and allegedly by 2012 Chloe Grace Moretz and Jason Schwartzman were attached to star. This version of the film was supposed to premiere in 2015, but it would never happen, and Chloe Grace Moretz is my mortal enemy. So I looked out there. After they officially acquired the rights in 2013, however, they pushed the film back a year, and they also announced that Mike Mitchell and Erica Rivinoha were hired as director and screenwriter to reimagine the film as a musical comedy. And it said that they kind of thought that this genre of musical comedy would lead to a better aesthetic for the Trolls and also kind of give an origin to the Trolls' hair. And a fun fact is that Trolls would be the first musical produced by DreamWorks since 2000's Road to El Dorado. So this is when Anna Kendrick and Justin Timberlake would then join the cast as the leads. Justin would also serve as one of the executive producers for the film's music, and this is also where we get the iconic song Can't Stop the Feeling. And as much as I love these films, I hate this song so much. It ruins the soundtrack for me. And this is because, and this is a side note, in 2016, I worked at Allentown's Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom as a character escort. Yes, I was a friend of Snoopy's. So every day for several times a day, I would have to walk Snoopy and the other Peanuts characters to the center of the park to dance to that fucking song. Fuck you, Justin Timberlake. So that is a very quick overview of the background of these films. And now I want to deep dive into the films themselves. So we're kind of going to talk about plot, lore, and themes for all three of the main series Trolls films. I really don't think it's an exaggeration to say that these are some of the best children's films to come out in the 21st century. So the tagline for Trolls 2016 is "Find your happy place." And this is definitely sort of the thesis of this film. The film follows Princess Poppy, who is played by Anna Kendrick, and Branch, played by Justin Timberlake, as they go to rescue their trolls brethren from the Bergens. So a long time ago, the trolls all lived in a tree. The trolls were known for being the absolute embodiment of happiness. They would constantly sing, dance, and hug all the time. And did I mention that they lived in a tree? This is important for later. Eventually, the trolls were discovered by the Bergens, and the Bergens are kind of like the physical embodiment of depression. So somehow, some way, the Bergens realized that if they ate trolls, it would make them feel happy on the inside. Each year since that discovery, the Bergens have an annual troll eating event called Trollstice. Yes, this is actually part of the plot. It's quite dark. And if you don't know what a Bergen is, they probably got their name from the Norwegian town Bergen, and they also resemble the traditional troll of Norse folklore. So back to the movie plot, we have a flashback. The Prince of the Bergens, Prince Gristle, is excited for his first ever trollstice. His dad promises him that he will feed him the happiest troll ever. Who do you think it is? It's Princess Poppy. However, when they go to get her from the tree, the trolls have escaped underground to a new home. So the royal family of the Bergens have a chef that cooks the trolls every year, and so when she fails to capture Princess Poppy for Prince Gristle's first trollstice, they banish her forever. She vows that she will eventually find the trolls and eat them as revenge. So 20-ish years later, Poppy is throwing a party to honor the anniversary of their arrival to this new home, which is also the anniversary from when they escaped the Bergens, if you didn't put that together. Branch warns Poppy that the party will attract the Bergens. She doesn't listen. So Branch is kind of like a doomsday prepper, but for Bergens. This is because he has a tragic backstory that will be revealed later.
And kill my grandma.
No, I said it will be revealed later. So Branch has this underground bunker that he has prepared to hide from the Bergens. So he goes to hang out there while this party goes on, and Princess Poppy's party is an absolute rager, and this rager does attract the attention of the aforementioned Bergen chef, who grabs a bunch of the trolls and leaves to have her redemption in Bergen Town. Poppy runs to Branch in his bunker to ask him for help, and he says yes, but that's only because Poppy brings all the trolls that weren't captured down into the bunker, and they all hug each other, and Branch is like, ew, I guess I'll come. So the two of them head out to save the day. So eventually Branch and Poppy do make it to Bergen Town, and they stumble upon the stolen trolls in the royal castle. They are being guarded by a young maid named Bridget. They learn that she's in love with Prince Gristle, and Poppy gets excited because she loves love. Poppy and the trolls agree to help her get a date with him in exchange for her help. Branch has been refusing to sing, and this comes to a head in Bergen Town. It is revealed that Branch has refused to sing since his singing killed his grandma many years ago.
Why won't you sing? Because singing killed my grandma, okay? Now leave me alone.
There. Are you happy? So this is when the trolls disguise Bridget as the ever iconic Lady Glittersparkles. Gristle and Lady Glittersparkles end up really vibing, and they go on a date. The trolls sneak into Gristle's room to free one of the other stolen trolls, Creek, who they thought was already eaten. And then I didn't mention this before, but Poppy kind of has a crush on Creek. This is only relevant for this movie, and it doesn't go much further, so just stay with me. Creek sells out Poppy and Branch and their little friend group to the Bergens, specifically the Bergen chef, and the chef captures them as they go to rescue Creek. And this causes all the trolls to get really sad and turn gray, like Branch, who is gray because his grandma died. And when they all turn gray, Branch does sing to Poppy and the other trolls, mostly to Poppy, which moves them so much that their color and passion for living returns. And Bridget has really befriended the trolls at this point because they have really helped her accept herself and find love within herself and be happy, in addition to getting her crush. And so she releases them secretly from this chef's clutches. So the trolls go to like the main area in Bergen Town and reveal that Lady Glittersparkles was Bridget the entire time. Remember, Bridget was a maid to the royal Bergen family. So they do this as a way of showing the Bergens that they can actually find happiness within themselves and they don't have to be depressed all the time. If only that worked in real life. So all the Bergens in Bergen Town are so moved, and the Bergens realize that, you know what? These little guys are right. The chef, however, does not like this, but she is banished again. But with Creek this time. They're kind of like sent away in a flaming cart. So then at the end, Bridget and Gristle are a couple, and Poppy is crowned Queen of the Trolls. Branch and Poppy also become real friends with a hug. The end. So the big themes for the first Trolls film are self-love and finding your inner happiness. You could also argue that family is another theme of the film, but I would not say it is one of the central themes, kind of maybe like a motif. We spend very little time with the families we are introduced to, and I actually think that chosen family is a better interpretation thematically, as Branch's journey in the film revolves around finding happiness through his new group of friends. So the Bergens are also like a major focus of this film, especially in comparison to their presence in the sequels. Their depressive personalities are used as a stark contrast to the sweet positivities that the trolls embody, and by helping Bridget turn into Lady Glittersparkles, they help Bridget love and believe in herself, leading her to feel truly happy even without Gristle. She does still get Gristle though, but the point is that she does not need him to be happy, and she has found her inner happy place. See, it all comes together. Poppy also goes through the journey of realizing that being positive without being realistic is not healthy and can actually be dangerous. It almost got a lot of her friends killed. This is a lesson that she carries with her throughout the series, and we especially see this in the direct sequel to Trolls, which is Trolls World Tour. Wow, Mia, what a really good transition. So I already made a video on Trolls World Tour like a couple months ago, so I'm going to keep this relatively concise. I wouldn't say that Trolls World Tour video is my best video ever, but it does make some really good points. I'll link it if you want to watch it. So the tagline for this film is happiest movie ever. And I don't think this tagline really does the film any justice, as it has nothing to do with what the movie is actually about. But they also use the tagline rock and troll, which also has nothing to do with the themes of the movie, but it's a good pun, so I'm not really mad at that one. And also, before we really get into it with this one, I do want to say that the cast for this movie is stacked. The team really went out of their way to get musical artists and actors to really elevate the film. Like, there are multiple Academy Award winners and nominees, and not to mention there's Ozzy Osbourne, Bad Bunny, Kelly Clarkson, Red Velvet, and the McElroy brothers, and also unfortunately Anthony Ramos is in Trolls World Tour, but they can't all be winners, I guess. There always must be a hubris. This movie is what firmly cements the trollsverse, lowercase t, as the trollsverse, capital T, in my opinion, because this movie is only about the trolls. There's no Bergens or Bergentown, just all different kinds of trolls. The basic plot is that the rock trolls, led by Queen Barb, they plan to colonize the entirety of the trolls' kingdom, and therefore making rock the ultimate and only kind of music / troll. There are 6 tribes of trolls, and each is based around a genre of music: pop, rock, techno, funk, classical, and country. That hurt my finger. For context, Poppy, Branch, and their friends are all pop trolls. Poppy, pop, you get it? Okay? It can be that simple. A long time ago, all the trolls tribes lived together in literal harmony. Get it? Music. There was a magical lyre, the instrument that had 6 strings, each representing the different kinds of music. Barb is attempting to take each of the trolls' tribes' strings to unite them under rock. Remember this, it's important. Lore for the plot of the film. When Poppy learns of Barb's plan, she is pissed. Poppy believes that overall all trolls are the same because they're all trolls. So she convinces Branch and the others that I don't really talk about here to join her to convince Barb that all trolls are equal. Poppy visits the classical trolls and the country trolls to warn them of Barb's evil plan. And while all this is happening, one of Poppy's friends, Cooper, who I love, we stan Cooper in this house, Cooper sets off on his own journey to find his family. You see, Cooper does not look like the other pop trolls. He is quadrupedal, whereas the pop trolls are bipedal, and there's also other differences, but if I'm using big words, then you have to believe me, right? It's called ethos, or ethos. Allegedly, one day, a young Cooper, baby Cooper, randomly showed up to the Pop Trolls' tribe and was taken in / adopted by them. In our present day timeline, Cooper does eventually stumble upon Vibe City, the home of the Funk Trolls, and he learns that he is the long-lost son of the royal funky family, so he's the prince. So then Poppy and Branch eventually arrive at Vibe City as well, and so Poppy talks to the king and queen. She tells them about Barb's plan, and then her plan to combat Barb. And so they tell Poppy that they disagree with her plan as they don't believe all trolls to be the same.
If we combine our music, she'll see that music unites all trolls and that we're all the same and that she's one of us.
And that a long time ago, like several generations ago, the pop trolls actually tried to also unite all the trolls under one type of music, pop. So they also tried to take all the other strings of the other tribes, and then all the other tribes had to stand up to the pop trolls. And then after the conclusion, they all decided to keep separate in order to protect their people and their music. So essentially, the Funky family tells Poppy that denying their differences is denying who they really are, and uniting under any one kind of music, whether permanently or not, will never work. So Poppy doesn't really understand this, but she feels bad that her people had hurt the other trolls like that. This is taking too long, so I'm going to move on quickly. Eventually, Poppy and her friends are captured by Barb and the rock trolls, and Barb successfully turns almost everyone into rock zombies. Poppy does not, because of putting gumdrops in her ears that she learns from another character that I never mentioned earlier in the film. Again, this is taking too long, so we have to move on quickly. And then Poppy basically calls Barb a bitch. She doesn't say that, but I mean she does. And then she smashes Barb's guitar. Barb had all the strings that she had taken in her guitar to turn everyone into rock zombies. So when Poppy breaks the guitar, the strings break too. And then Poppy, I guess, destroys all of music.
You've destroyed music!
And all the trolls turn gray again, like they did at the end of the last film, and it's really sad. Then Cooper hears his heartbeat, and he and his brother begin beatboxing. I wrote here that Poppy leads everyone in song, but I remember it to be Branch, and at this point, I don't feel like going back. So either Poppy or Branch, apparently according to Wikipedia, it's Poppy, leads everyone in a song, which then restores music and color to the trolls. So then Barb and Poppy call a truce, and then Poppy and Branch make it official. They're dating, and then everyone appreciates everyone, and metaphorical colonization is defeated forever. Yay. Like I said before, I have a whole other video on this installment to the trollsverse, so go watch that if you want more of a deep dive into the themes of that film. I do think that this is a really good sequel to the first film. One of the biggest questions that a lot of people had after watching Trolls 1 was, what about all the other trolls? And this film is a great answer to that question. The music is fun. The animation has improved. Poppy has better hair. This film is a beautiful message on celebrating differences, equality versus equity, and again, found family. And Poppy and Branch also becomes canon. They did it, guys. They fuck. This film continues the idea that Poppy is grounding her enthusiasm in reality. The royal Funky family reminds Poppy of the real history of her people, therefore causing Poppy to reflect on what it means to be Poppy, as in the music, not her name. She is learning that she can be exciting and fun, but she has to acknowledge the differences in others that may not let them express themselves in the same way. And it's really brilliant to see how they continue this conflict into this film as well. Trolls World Tour is my favorite Trolls film, and all of my friends disagree. I don't know why or how. I don't know how they can like the first film more than the second film, because in my opinion, not only is the quality higher, but I think the message is more impactful. It's not like they don't believe that it's good. They just somehow like the first film more, and I just don't know why. Let me know what you guys think, because I genuinely can't understand how someone can enjoy the first film more than the second film. I also have to point out this review that I found while I was doing my research. It's from Entertainment Weekly, and they called Trolls World Tour Infinity War with lower stakes. And that is the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard, because so true, bestie. So true. Did I mention I have glitter on?
I told you we needed more glitter.
At the end of last year, the third official Trolls movie, Trolls Band Together, was released. This film sought to focus on Branch and his story. So as a baby, Branch and his 4 older brothers were a part of Brozone. So Brozone is like the biggest boy band in the Trollsverse. John Dory, the leader and the oldest brother, wants the group to perform the perfect family harmony, which is like this really cool power that is suddenly invented. Please don't think about it too much. Just give into suspension of disbelief. The boys can't like hit the harmony and the band breaks up and baby Branch is left to be raised by their grandmother. Yes, that one. They made it work with the previous lore. The Legend of Zelda development team could never. So in the present, Bridget and Gristle, remember them? They're the Bergens that got together at the end of the other film. Their wedding is interrupted by none other than John Dory. John Dory comes to retrieve Branch as he explains that Floyd, the second youngest brother and the one closest to Branch, had been captured by two Mount Ragans, who I will explain later, wannabe pop stars. Basically, they have captured Floyd in a diamond perfume bottle to capture his talented troll's essence to hide their untalent. Conveniently, the only thing that can break this diamond is the perfect family harmony. Branch agrees to help, as Floyd was his favorite brother. Poppy, of course, tags along, and Tiny Diamond also comes because he wants to prove that he's not a baby.
Who is Adulty McMahon face?
The better question is, are you a narc?
At the Vacay Island Resort, they go and find Spruce. He has changed his name to Bruce, who is known as the Heartthrob. He has gained weight and is still canonically hot. We love to see it. Yes, body positivity without irony. And he's also started a family. And I think that the Vacay Island people are supposed to be like Muppets, but we really don't know that much about them. They don't really talk about any of their lore specifically. So just kind of go with it, okay? Again, we're just vibing. So John Dory, Branch, and Poppy catch Bruce up, and Bruce agrees to help. They go to find Clay, who was known as the Fun One, and they find him at an abandoned Bergen mini golf course. Apparently, a colony of pop trolls hid away there after they fled from one of the trollstesses like a while ago. They have no idea about anything that happened in the previous two films, so they have no idea that the Bergens are like cool now. So this colony is led by a troll named Viva, who turns out to be Poppy's long-lost sister. And then Poppy and Viva get into a fight because Viva doesn't believe Poppy about the Bergens changing, and then she tries to trap Poppy and Branch and everyone in the golf course, but Clay helps them all escape, agreeing to help rescue Floyd. So while all of that is happening, the aforementioned Mount Ragans, who are siblings named Velvet and Veneer, are climbing the charts thanks to Floyd's essence. I'm just listening to myself talk. I sound crazy. Floyd is not doing too well, guys. He is not feeling good. So Velvet reveals that she forged a letter to John Dory to bait the rest of Brozone to come to them, to capture them, and also steal their essences. The Mount Ragans are kind of like loosely based on the Betty Spaghetti toys. So it kind of looks like the Trolls creators are creating a toyverse, not a trollsverse. The trolls do eventually make it to Mount Ragus. John Dory, Clay, Bruce, and Branch all try to practice and rehearse the perfect family harmony, but they are not doing too good. So they all end up fighting again, and Branch chews them out. He tells them that they all abandoned him and their grandma died. It's sad. John Dory, Clay, and Bruce are then all captured by Velvet and Veneer, and Branch, Poppy, and Tiny Diamond all go to find them. There's like this huge car chase, and Viva ends up teaming up with Bridget and Gristle to help them. It's an insane sequence. The music is incredible, and Velvet and Veneer are literally killing trolls to serve cunt, and it's iconic. 10 across the board. So John Dory, Clay, and Bruce all end up getting freed, but Velvet has a hold on Floyd. Branch, Poppy, Viva, John Dory, Clay, and Bruce all perform the perfect family harmony by setting aside all of their egos to work together. Floyd is freed, and Velvet and Veneer are revealed to be frauds to all of Mount Ragus. Veneer admits this to everyone as well. He pleads guilty, and they go to prison. That's not a joke.
You also engaged in troll napping, troll torture.
Tax evasion? I'm gonna have to repossess your yacht. Fair enough. Prison it is!
So Brozone ends up having a comeback concert in celebration of their reunion and everything. at Vacay Island. Real Life in Sync makes a cameo as a boy band called Kismet that Branch somehow was a part of between his grandma dying and becoming an absolute survivalist. So in my honest and most humble opinion, Trolls Band Together is mindless and campy fun. If you think about it too much, the Trolls timeline kind of begins to fall apart. While I love that they acknowledged a lot of what happened in the previous films, because we would have been asking those questions anyway, they do just end up creating even more questions. Literally, how did none of the brothers find out that their grandma died? Did they not have a funeral for her? And if they did have a funeral, did they not invite them? That's like really messed up. And then like, who raised Branch after that? And then when did he join Kismet? And then wouldn't he be recognized as a part of Kismet sooner, since he was presumably older in that one? Did they all just collectively forget that due to the trauma of the Bergens? Like, I have to know. I want to know Branch's timeline. I also really despise the fact that Poppy also has a long lost sister. And like, I know she's supposed to be a mirror to Poppy to see herself and cause her to realize how she can be a lot sometimes. But I feel like this is a lesson that Poppy has kind of learned already in the last 2 films, and I don't think it was a necessary plot point. Clay could have served this part of the plot on his own because he was originally like the fun one and he hated being the fun one, and so he turned really serious, and so he could have ended up just like really turning the corner and being so super serious, and then Branch and Poppy could like teach him to not be so serious, and that balance between fun and serious is okay, and that no one has to tell him he doesn't have to be fun or serious, he could just be Clay, you know, like that could have been really cool and like a fun lesson to learn. And then adding the Mount Ragans and the Vacay Islanders as extended members of the Trollsverse makes 0 sense. I love them. I love their designs. Veneer, we need a spin-off immediately, but it doesn't make any sense to the lore. The Bergens are based off of Norwegian folklore, and technically so are the trolls. Yes, they were also based off of dolls, but those dolls are based off of folklore. And now we are extending the Trollsverse universe into more toys, and not even like garden gnomes or something that are also kind of like toys connected to folklore, just Betty spaghetti dolls and puppets. Vaguely, it doesn't make a lot of cohesive sense. Like, sure, it's fun and the designs are great, but at what cost? At the cost of lore? Over MatPat's dead body. So instead of found family being the main or one of the main themes in this one, we kind of are just focusing on like family. Perhaps household is a better term, who you immediately associate yourself with. But like really they're talking about biological family, like siblings, and like how overall a family, specifically siblings, may not always get along, but you all love each other regardless. And like that's a fine theme. It doesn't really fit in with the rest of the Trollsverse themes, as up to this point we've really been exploring found family as a means of finding love and acceptance, and now we just have to believe that your found family is fine, but your family and your perfect family harmony can solve any problem. And all this criticism may make it seem like I really don't like this movie, but I love this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. It was so fun to watch, and it was so funny. Like, the jokes hit in this one, okay? Tiny Diamond had like most of the adult jokes in this film, and it just worked. And then they also made Veneer a raging homosexual.
Girl, we grew up in the suburbs. Our parents were dentists.
Andrew Reynolds, thank you for your service. I literally made my family pay $20 to rent this movie on Amazon Prime on Christmas Eve to all watch together. My mom was like barely paying attention, and her boyfriend was so invested. I think my mom was like asking what the brothers were doing, and he just turned to her and goes, "Trying to find the perfect family harmony. Aren't you watching?" It was so funny. That is a testament to this film. It is Brian approved. It is so fun. Like, just don't think about it too much. Don't think about it. Do we like this pose? So that is my deep dive into the trollsverse, capital T. I hope you enjoyed me info dumping on a series of kids films I have no business being this invested in. I think these are really great and meaningful children's films, and they have like this really shiny and glittery exterior to distract people from the truly and like actually deep messages underneath, which we love because people don't like having to think anymore. Thank you all for watching. Let me know if there are any other films or video games or literally any type of media whatsoever you would like me to cover. And comment below who you think the hottest member of Brozone is and why is it Bruce? Bye.
That day, I was so lost in song. I didn't hear my grandma trying to warn me.